Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Amelia Marquez. In tonight's news, Tennessee has recorded its first case of the Zika virus. Jack Daniel's Distillery has announced a big expansion. A Tullahoma woman has been charged with TennCare fraud, and we'll tell you how to get your income tax return prepared for free. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
Push it, pull it, or drag it in for our annual Cash for Trash event. It's going to be bigger and better than ever at all the State McNabb dealerships.
That means the whole month of February, we are giving you $2,000 minimum towards the purchase of any pre-owned vehicle.
And we've received a huge shipment of new cars.
We're stacking them deep and selling them cheap.
So push, pull, or drag your vehicle in today for your $2,000. It's the biggest event of the year at State McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
And Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac.
And State McNabb Ford.
Cash for Trash Month is back.
Yes.
Yes!
Hello, I'm Larry McIntosh, and I'm asking you to elect me to be your property assessor. I have worked as a CPA and have 15 years of accounting experience. In addition, I worked for 16 years as a classroom teacher. I have a strong faith in God, and I currently serve as Sunday school director and deacon at my church. My experience as a CPA will allow me to capably and professionally lead the property assessor's office. The taxpayers of Coffee County deserve a property assessor who treats them with respect and is fair, honest, and responsible. I pledge to be that person. I, Larry McIntosh, ask you to elect me to be your property assessor on Tuesday, March 1st. Early voting starts Wednesday, February 10th. Thank you, and may God bless.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Department of Health announced this week it has received confirmation from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention of the first person in the state to test positive for the Zika virus disease. The infected individual had recently traveled to South America before returning to East Tennessee. Except in pregnant women, Zika virus is almost always a very mild illness, and for most people, testing is not necessary. Approximately 80% of those infected never show symptoms of the disease, while approximately 20% show only mild symptoms. There is no vaccine to prevent infection and no specific antiviral treatment for Zika viral infection. Its most common symptoms are fever, rash, joint pain, and red eyes. TDH Commissioner John Dreisner said, quote, "We have been expecting an imported case of Zika virus disease, and we believe more infections are likely as people travel to and from areas where the disease is currently being transmitted." Zika virus, with its association with the birth defect microcephalopathy, is understandably scary and has captured all of our attention, but the good news is mosquito bites which transmit Zika are entirely preventable.
The list of affected areas includes many countries in the Caribbean and South and Central America. TDH recommends the following for travelers to protect themselves against mosquitoes infected with the Zika virus. Wear long, loose, and light-colored shirts and pants, and wear socks. Tucking in shirts and pants and tucking in pants into socks will help form a barrier. Wear closed shoes or boots instead of sandals. Apply repellents to skin often and avoid perfumes, colognes, and products with fragrances that might attract mosquitoes. While public health and medical professionals have a good body of knowledge about many mosquito-borne diseases, there is still much to learn about the Zika virus disease. At present, there are still questions about its transmission through sex and other avenues. Pregnant women or people who develop a fever within 1 week of returning from an affected country should contact their personal health care professional for advice.
Governor Bill Haslam and Department of Economic and Community Development Commissioner Randy Boyd, along with Brown-Forman Corporation officials, announced on Wednesday expansion plans for the Jack Daniel Distillery. The $140 million investment will be used to construct 2 new barrel houses, as well as modify and expand existing bottling facilities to provide additional bottling and shipping capacity to meet future demand. As a result, 30 new jobs will be created in Moore County. The Jack Daniel Distillery underwent a separate expansion less than 3 3 years ago, which included the addition of Stills barrel warehouses and related infrastructure. The project represented an investment of $103 million and the creation of 94 jobs.
In addition to the new barrel houses and bottling facility modifications, the current expansion will also involve renovations to the visitor center to support increased tourism and enhance the visitor experience. Last year, the distillery received more than 275,000 guests from around the world, officially registered by the U.S. government in 1866 and based in Lynchburg, Tennessee. The Jack Daniel Distillery, Lim Motlow, proprietor, is the oldest registered distillery in the United States and is on the National Register of Historic Places. Jack Daniel's is known for the world-famous Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 Tennessee Whiskey, Gentleman Jack Rare Tennessee Whiskey, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Tennessee Whiskey, and Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, and the Jack Daniel's Tennessee Fire.
The Office of Inspector General announced Wednesday the arrest of a Coffee County woman charged with TennCare fraud involving prescription drugs. Vicki L. Hargrove, age 33, of Tullahoma, is charged with TennCare fraud for fraudulently obtaining hydrocodone and oxycodone by doctor shopping using TennCare as payment. Inspector General Mandy Tyndale said, quote, "Prescription drug abuse hurts individuals, families, and communities, and we are intent on finding and prosecuting those cases where TennCare fraud is involved." TennCare fraud is a Class E felony carrying a sentence of up to 2 years in prison per charge. Coffee County District Attorney General Craig Northcutt will be prosecuting the case.
Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment with more Newsleader on 6.
Trucks, trucks, and more trucks. Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester is your home for both new and pre-owned trucks. We have a huge selection of over 200 trucks to choose from. Check us out on the web at russellbarnett.com and view our great selection. We are your truck headquarters, and we want to be your one-stop shop. That's Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester, your truck headquarters. Trucks, trucks, and more trucks. Why buy anywhere else?
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Welcome back. The second annual Father-Daughter Dance is coming up next week. I spoke recently with Lane Yoder and Winston Brooks about this year's dance.
We are here to talk about a great event, Support Partners for Healing. It's the second annual Starry Night Father-Daughter Dance, and it's going to be February 20th, which is a Saturday night. It's going to start at 6:30 p.m. and it's going to be at the First United Methodist Church gym. And so we want to invite everyone out there, to all the father figures and dads, to invite your daughters and nieces and granddaughters,
little sisters.
Come out and join us.
I think you're the chairman of this event, is that correct?
I am. I'm currently serving as president of the board for Partners for Healing, as well as working as the interim executive director. And yes, have a wonderful team put together to execute this event. It was a ton of fun last year. Winston actually came with his daughter, danced the night away. Kat Murray is our DJ, and she does a fantastic job. The moment the dads and the daughters walked in, everybody was on the dance floor and did not leave the dance floor until it was over. So.
And that's no exaggeration.
Yeah, it was.
They do a great job. And if you're afraid of dancing, don't be afraid. Come in, and you can blend right in. And they show you all the moves. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about it last year was fun. I can't remember the names of any of the dances, but all the dances the young girls and the kids are dancing these days. They'll show you all the moves, and next thing you'll know, you'll be out there right with them. And even if you have to stand around in the back, your daughter will have a great time dancing with all of her friends, and there'll be some other activities that you can take part in as well. So don't be afraid if you're not a dancer.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think this is the second event.
That's right.
Second, and you call
That's
it the
right.
annual.
Yeah, we're calling it second annual, where this is going to be a tradition. So second annual father-daughter dance. We're featuring Disney princesses. So we have got, for the younger girls, we have got Princess Elsa, Princess Tiana, Snow White, Cinderella, Elsa from Frozen, and Anna from Frozen. So they will all be there to help with the little girls, get pictures with the little girls. Christopher Equipment has been fabulous, and they are loaning us a red carpet, a velvet rope, a disco ball, and a photo booth. So the girls can get pictures with their dads, with their princesses. And also Southern Sundays is going to provide free gelato for everybody. We are making sure that it has got all kinds of sweets and all kinds of activities to go with
I
the
just
dancing.
really want to thank all of our sponsors and all the volunteers that have helped us put this together. We've got Celebrate Party Store, Feel So Good, Kroger, Light Tube, make sure we get them all, Posh Polka Dot, Chick-fil-A, City of Tullahoma, Lane and Bill Yoder, and Stan McNabb Automotive. And so without their support and the support of all the volunteers and Lane's direction, this event would not be possible. So
I don't know. It appears to me she's having a big fun with this.
Oh my gosh, it's great. I tell you, one of the best things is seeing the little girls. Now this is ages are up to middle school, but especially for the younger girls, they last year, so precious. A lot of dads bought their daughters corsages. They had their hair done. Many of them came with tiaras. I mean, it was more than just simply a dance. I mean, it just created such a feel-good community spirit. Just to have everybody come out, and for the little girls to know what it's like to be treated special by their dad. Many grandfathers came with their granddaughters. Big brothers brought little sisters. It just was a wonderful, wonderful special evening, and so we are hopeful and very optimistic we can create that same good evening again this year. So
bringing the Frozen characters into this is probably a very popular thing.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Elsa and Anna, yes. So we'll have those, and there was word that Rapunzel may make an appearance, but that has not been confirmed yet. So last year some of the girls just asked the most precious questions of our princesses, like, did they come all the way from Disney? Of course they did come all the way from Disney. One of our Princess Elsa, we actually had a high school student being the princess, and so one Princess Elsa turned to a little girl and said, "I love your dress." And this sweet little girl looked up at Princess Elsa and said, "I loved your movie." So for the little girls, it is real to have these Disney princesses there. So it's part of what creates the magical evening.
Typically, how old are these young ladies?
I would say probably, again, up to middle school, but the majority are probably within that, say, 6 to 9, maybe 5 to 9. So that early elementary age is really kind of the sweet spot for the father-daughter dance. But tickets are available for sale now online by going to the Partners website. So that's www.partnersforhealing.org, not .com, but .org, and click on our events tab, and you can purchase them online. But we're also later this week going to have many local places selling tickets. Tullahoma Drug, Southern Community Bank, Feels So Good, and in Manchester, First National Bank will be selling tickets, and that'll be available for purchase later this week, but they're available today starting online.
More Newsleader on 6 is coming up after these messages.
All I have to do is think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
Dads and father figures, before she's all grown up, dance with her at the Starry Night Father-Daughter Dance. Saturday night, February 20th at 6:30. The fun is just $35 for a night of memories with your special daughter or daughters. Your evening will be hosted by DJ Cat and feature dance lessons, delicious desserts, photo, a special gift, and more. You'll leave proud knowing you've created a special moment for her and that your support benefits Partners for Healing. Reserve your tickets now for the Starry Night Father-Daughter Dance, February 20th.
Welcome back. By now, most of you have received documentation which reflects your 2015 income and are ready to file your federal income tax return. Jim spoke this week with Jim Heisick about a free service to help low-income and elderly individuals file their tax return.
You might start to be thinking about getting your income tax done, and our next guest here is someone who can help you with that. I'm pleased to have Jim Heisick with us today. And you are with a group that actually assists people in doing that. Is that correct?
That is correct. We prepare taxes for seniors and low-income people free of charge. We get our computers and software from the IRS and the ARP Foundation. And they support us, and all of our people are volunteers. They have to pass a test in order to be qualified to do this. And then we prepare tax returns here in Tullahoma. It's at the Trinity Lutheran Church. And we do it in Manchester at the Senior Center and the Recreation Center. We do it in Winchester at Methodist Church. We do it in Shelbyville at the Senior Center. And we do it in Columbia. So that's kind of our district here.
It takes a lot of volunteers to make that happen, I would imagine, doesn't it?
Yes, because we require all returns to be reviewed. So we have one counselor that prepares the return and another counselor that reviews it. And so we have probably about 25 volunteers here in the district doing this, and the most are here in Tullahoma, but most of our facilities have at least 3 volunteers. And we hold an education program that we sit down and go through the latest tax laws and run through a whole bunch of examples, and then everybody from there takes the test and pass it. And the people that volunteer are anywhere from housewives to engineers. We have some retired accountants. You know, the backgrounds vary a lot, and but the idea is we'll do all the real basic returns. We don't do business returns or farm returns, you know, stuff like that. We do the real, what I call the simple returns. But you know, they can be fairly complicated, especially with the health care situation with the Obamacare and the tax you'd have to pay if you don't have.
And that's a whole new thing that's just come on.
That's correct. Yes, this will be our second year of handling the what we call the Obamacare aspect, which is complicated, but the software does so much for us. I can't say enough about the software. The software is a very good commercially sold software that a lot of CPA firms use, and so it'll do a lot of the calculations once we enter the data. Okay, that's the key thing.
And I assume it probably goes through and asks you questions, does it not?
Yes. Yeah. When people come in, we ask them to fill out a questionnaire for us, and that's our starting point. From there, we can ask questions and decide what we need to dig into.
You mentioned this phone number. If you're in the Tullahoma area, that's who you call to make an appointment. So you do require people to call to make an appointment.
Right. They can come in and we'll try to work them in. If they make an appointment, though, they're guaranteed a slot. Let's put it that way. Almost all of our facilities make appointments. At Shelbyville, it's at the Senior Center. They just call the Senior Center, and same thing at Manchester and Winchester. So. Manchester is the Senior Center, and Winchester is the United Methodist Church.
I see. What sort of preparation do you need to make as a person filing their tax return? Are there probably documents and information that you'd like for them to bring?
That's correct. We'd prefer them to bring last year's tax return as well. That'll highlight what they had in the previous year. But all your W-2s, your 1099s, all the information you would get from banks or brokerage firms or whatever your situation is.
Right.
And then I guess the other thing I better mention is we e-file which means because the IRS providing us with all the hardware, the computers, we can get right into the IRS computers and send it to them electronically.
Jim, thank you so much for coming by today, and we do encourage you to call that number right there. If you happen to be watching this and you're not in Tullahoma, I bet you they can tell you that number right there who you need to call.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll be right back in a moment.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. A lot of folks have aspired to be the weather person on television. However, there are many other jobs available for meteorologists in keeping us safe in bad weather. Let's take a look at some of those jobs.
Well, not only do we work here at the National Weather Service to help protect lives and property, there are several different jobs out there that a meteorologist or a weatherman can do. We can be researchers. We can be on television. We can work for private meteorology companies to help save lives as well. Or we have folks that are out there storm chasing. So let's take a look at some of the different jobs that you can do as a meteorologist. The first one we're going to talk about are some that are on TV. You know, they're providing vital information to those of you out there to help keep you safe, so that you can make the best decision when those storms are moving in, or when a blizzard or a heavy snowstorm is also going to move in as well. Some of us, we like to work behind the scenes, not really on the camera. We issue forecasts every single day, and we issue those warnings and statements, you know, like from tornadoes, snowstorms, or even floods. We also have the researchers. Now, those guys have some pretty interesting jobs. Many times they get to go fly in airplanes, and some of those folks that fly in the airplanes will actually fly right into the heart of a hurricane. We call those folks hurricane hunters. We also have storm chasers that are researchers. Their job is to go out and plant objects or sensors near storms so that they can gather information right around those storms so that we can predict them better and to keep you safe. You can see we have some that go out onto boats, like I said, airplanes, and we chase vehicles, and we even use blimps as well. So there's a wide array of folks that perform research whenever it comes to weather. And then, of course, we've got the storm chasers. Those storm chasers provide a vital role. Not only are they out there for themselves to get excited and to see the weather, the tornadoes, the hail, the thunder, the lightning, but they're also providing that information back to us here at the National Weather Service so that we can use that information to help you stay safe. Now let's learn just a few basic weather terms when it comes to weather. The first thing that we're going to talk about is, what is weather? Do we really know exactly what weather is? Basically, all weather is a condition of the Earth's atmosphere. And the Earth's atmosphere is absolutely huge, but it's that condition over a very brief period of time. It could be an hour. It could be a day. It could also be a week. It's described in terms like hot, cold, windy, wet, and dry. Now let's look at the very basics. Temperature. What exactly is temperature? Basically, all temperature is a measure of how hot or how cold the air can be. And we record that in degrees Fahrenheit, also degrees Celsius. But here in America, we generally use Fahrenheit. When it's below 32 degrees, we generally consider that freezing. And when it gets up over 100 degrees, especially here in Kansas, we consider that to be hot. Now, we also have to deal with something called humidity, because humidity, all it is, it's a measure of moisture that's in the atmosphere. And it plays a vital role into how comfortable you are when you actually go outside.
when there's a high humidity. That means that there's a lot of moisture in the air. So it makes it feel real muggy outside. It makes conditions very miserable for you whenever you go outside. You start sweating basically as soon as you walk out the door. Now, when we say that it's dry outside, that means there's very little moisture in the air, and we can tolerate it much better. So the difference is, let's look at here in Kansas. Many times we have a tendency to have a high dew point or a lot of moisture that's in the air, so it gets real muggy, and when it gets hot, it gets kind of miserable. Now those folks down in Phoenix, it's very dry air, so they call that a dry heat, and they can tolerate the heat much better than we can here in Kansas because there's not as much moisture. Now, how do you know if there's a lot of moisture in the air or if it's dry? Well, there's one of these easy little tricks. You know, a lot of times when you're walking around the house or you're walking through one of the local stores and you're dragging your feet just a little bit, and then all of a sudden you touch somebody and you shock them, that right there tells you that it's a very dry atmosphere. There's not much moisture in the atmosphere as well. So that's exactly what humidity means.
The pet of the week this week at the Tullahoma Animal Shelter is a terrier mix named Zelda. She entered the shelter as a stray and has been there since April of last year. She's approximately 2.5 years old and weighs 25 pounds. Zelda is up to date on her vaccinations and will receive a free spay provided by the shelter. She gets along well with other dogs and children. Be sure to check out the Tullahoma Shelter on Facebook for upcoming events and fundraisers. Remember, you can help support your local shelter by adopting, donating, or volunteering. For more details, contact Teresa at 454-9580. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter is located at 942 Maplewood Avenue.
The Coffee County Humane Society featured pet this week is Ginger. Ginger is a small beagle mix who's looking for a forever home. The shelter has many other dogs available for adoption at 1210 Hokedale Street in Manchester. Hours of operation at the shelter are to 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The shelter's phone number is 723-2730. Donations for animal care can be made at the Coffee County Humane Society at P.O. Box 252, Manchester. Their website is www.coffeehumane.org.
We'll be right back in a moment with your weather forecast.
The Kia Summers on Us sales event is going on right now at Russell Barnett Kia of Tullahoma. Let me tell you about this event. Purchase a new Kia Sedona, Kia Optima, Kia Forte, and receive 0% financing up to 66 months and your first 3 payments for free. For a limited time only, no strings attached. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. The Kia Summers on Us sales event going on right now. Why buy anywhere else?
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gotta be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1938 at 75 degrees. The record low was in 1968 at 9 degrees. Average high on this day is 52 and the average low is 28. For tonight, look for mostly cloudy weather with a low of around 25. Partly cloudy weather expected on Friday with a high of 47 and a low of 14. Sunny weather in your forecast for Saturday with a high of 29 and a low of 19.
And all of us from Newsleader 6 wishes you and your families a very special Valentine's weekend. Thank you.